Alright. How's it going?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. I'm Ricky Wurtz from the Orland Colony. I help with the bees, and I'm our gardener. We're pretty big into gardening, and yeah, we help each other out, Paul and I, and do beekeeping and run a garden.
I'm Paul Wurtz, and I'm here from Orland Colony. I work with Orland Honey Farm. I'm the beekeeper, and just that's me, pretty basic. Well, that's the extractor here, and that's where it all starts, where we put in the frames. And what is that, Ricky? A 40 frame or?
Not quite, something like 40 frames, 35 to 40 frames. It's the uncapper. That's where the line starts, like Paul said, and
Pump it through here. That's
all the frames go in here. We got a 32 frame extractor, like a 10-15 minute cycle. And there's our big Moino pump, the honey pump, going out of the extractor and pumping honey from the uncapper into the heating coil. We heat it up just a little to filter it.
That's the coil here. Fill that up with water.
And it goes through the coil and into the holding tank, and that's where we fill our pails, or we go direct to the drums, you know.
50-gallon barrels.
And where Paul's standing at, that's our area for, it's basically our hot room. We use this as our hot room too, so.
Yep.
That's where it all happens.
How many pounds of honey do you guys typically average?
Paul, you want to do it?
What did we do last year? I think we did around 30,000 pounds. We had like 11, 12 barrels and like 300 pails, 5-gallon pails.
We did, we averaged 80 pounds per hive.
Yeah, but like this year we added 100 hives, so we're expecting some more honey.
Sure. How many, so I can't do the math, what's the, how many hives you guys running?
We got right at 300. That's the office and where we bottle. This is where we bottle our honey here. It's empty now, I guess.
All the honey going to the stores, to the Lewis stores and the surrounding stores, that gets bottled out of here. That's where we do all our labeling and bottling.
This is where the ladies make that honey mustard, that good stuff, and that honey barbecue, and
Getting into hot sauce too now.
Lewis is our main account. Then we do all the sunshines, and we got like our honey at the Pomegranate down in Sioux Falls and Wayne and Mary's. We're all over. I mean, a lot of
Surrounding-
local gas stations. And
Yeah, the surrounding towns at the local gas stations, and yeah, I think our name is out there. Orland Honey Farm is, everybody knows about it around here, I think, the way it sounds.
Who was the first one, and how did that all come to be?
Well, our dad was he started out back in 2003 with like 8 hives, and we kind of helped him out along our other work, and
Growing up.
he passed away in 2007, and I took over. And since that time till a year or two ago, Paul took over. So yeah, we've just climbed every year. We've gotten more hives, and we're up to that around 275, 300 mark.
Are you splitting your own hives, or are you buying bees? What are you doing?
We're splitting them. We buy queens out of Georgia.
And we buy packaged bees, and
Yeah,
we do both.
we make, how many splits did we make, Paul, this last year?
About 140.
140 of our own splits.
Does anybody else help you out at the colony or in your?
Oh yeah, when we rob honey, they help. Well, we have a couple boys helping us. Yeah.
There's a new Premier, but it's, if we would lift that off, Ricky.
Well, we got one that's drawn out here. Dig out some of that good old Premier foundation here. There's a nice new building on here, wax building. Let's see if we get it. We got some good weight here. This thing's packed full of honey.
It's not capped yet.
Not capped yet, but we got to find a super Paul if we get back to eat.
So why did your dad decide to start keeping bees?
Well, we wanted our own honey source, you know. And you know, the first year he had bees back in 2003, he started out with all new equipment. And I called it, he had beginner's luck. Everything was packed full of honey
Brand new equipment.
at the end of the season, you know. That'll be a good one. But you probably got a ton of them already. There's a new frame for Premier. They're building wax on it. Side's still new.
You guys run 9 frames?
Yes, we run 9 frames. I'd like to find a packed super. Can't find a packed super here. Seems to be a problem this year in this part of the country. We're not making a whole lot of honey.
What flows do you guys see? Like what time of year? And what are they?
Well, usually this time, or last part of July, you know, we see our main crop come in. I mean, we've had our crop come in like in 10 days. Boom, we had a crop, you know. But it's pretty slow this year.
That's mostly sweet clover.
Yeah, sweet clover and alfalfa and soybeans. It seems like where we get our honey from. There's a pack full of Premier Bee Foundation.
And capped, huh?
Cap.
Beautiful.
Oh
That's
man,
a brand new frame from this year.
that looks real good. We started out, that's the reason we got honeybees back in the day, is because of our own honey source, but it's grown to where we're supplying a lot of stores, you know. I mean, if we'd only have hives for our own use, we could get by with 8 hives, you know. So, but yeah, we're a lot of the stores are depending on our honey source, so that's become probably the main reason we have honeybees, Paul, you know. Matt, is because of providing stores, you know. And yes, it is very essential to have your own honey on the table. That is that's a luxury, you know, to have that. native ground, you know. I mean, you don't make a lot of honey, you know, at cropland, but we like to find spots where there's a lot of flowering and native grasses and native flowers, and kind of isolated from farming, you know, agriculture farming, row crop farming.
We all know that pesticides are a major problem with honeybees, and what do we have? 1, 2, 3. We got 5 goats that we're milking. The names are on here.
So we got Nancy here.
She's not a good goat. That's
Annalise.
That's Miami. That's Moon here, Moonlight.
So he milks, what do we milk, Paul? Twice a day?
Twice a day. Well, now he's down to once a day.
No. There's the milk stanchion.
This is where they jump on and you just yoke them and you milk them. They're trained, and you just put them on here, and the milker is in the milk room in there. When she thinks she's getting a treat.
Yeah, so when you're done, you just do it, and then she goes back inside.
She knows.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Miami, or Moonlight.
Moonlight. Pretty well a steady stream. I mean, like when we had our farmers market, what did we have, Paul? I think we had at least, we was estimating about 400 people, you know. We had a big tent set up out here, and you get all these other pickled products. You got a pickled asparagus, pickled cauliflower, pickled beets, pickled garden in a jar, pickled string beans, corn relish, salsa, pickled eggs, you name it, we got her. We originated from Gemsville Colony down by Utica, South Dakota. That's down by Yankton. That's where we came from back in, we started building here in 86-7, and we split up with that colony down there in 95. So yeah, and about the Hutterites, Matt, we came over from the old country, from England area, Germany, Moravia, that part of the world, in like 500 years ago, you know. Well, no, it was started 500 years ago, Hutterites, but we came over like in 1870s, 80s, 1880s is when we came over here, and we started out then down in by Bonholm Colony. That's right on the Missouri River there by Tabor, South Dakota, that area. So that's where it all started, down by that colony, and since then, I mean, it's just grown, and there's at least, I think, in the United States, we're at about 50,000 Hutterites right now, within South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, Oregon, Washington, and Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC. They're all spread out. Yeah, so we do farming. That's our main income, it seems like, occupation. We're getting more into manufacturing. Livestock, we're self-diversified. We grow all our own food, and it's just trying to make a living, you know. Our beliefs are Acts 2 in the New Testament is where we're based out of. And Jesus and his disciples started out with communal living back when at the Pentecost. So that's where we started out. And we still like to practice and keep that practice of life. The reason we're here on a colony and in an isolated group, you know, from the outside world is because we're here for each other, and we try not to be so involved in the outside world with its, you know, with its temptations. And yes, we're very involved in, you know, in making our living with the outside world, but we try to be isolated out here, self-sustained, and we're here for each other. Why are we here for it? Why were we born into this world? Because we're here for each other, you know, and that's where we can serve each other very well in a setting of communal life like we practice here. Yeah, it's been working for, the system is 500 years old, and it's still going, and we're going strong. So.
Awesome. How many families are in Orland right now?
What is it, Paul? What have we got?
Is
There's
it-
like
is it
165
165
people, you know, with all the kids and stuff. But families, I don't know. There must be at least 30, 35. I'm not sure on that.
And we try to split up. We don't try to get too big. I mean, 106 is usually we are split up by then.
Yeah, once you get to 200 people, you know, 165, you know, that's when you start looking around. Hey, we need a new place, you know. We're looking for new settlement, you know. Well, we have our minister. He's the president, the minister. And then we have a secretary. He's in charge of all the financial. And then we have a farm boss. He takes care of all the land and whatever goes with it. And then of course we have the deacons too, you know. And once you're baptized, you get to be part of the community, you know. And we're all in it together, you know. We all do everything together.